got this passion. Mr. Wilkins has this passion that it's very refreshing to see after all these years. You come in and you take ownership of it, but he's impacting people's lives all around the world. Mr. Wilkins, I appreciate you coming on this Zoom tonight. Welcome to the one I've been doing this one for either it was a call and then it transitioned into this Zoom. It's going on 20 years now. But I am so honored to have you here to speak to the people. We got a lot of people here that are new. Some of these guys have been friends of mine since the 90s. I've got some family members on here. They want to hear Mr. Wilkins. So Mr. Wilkins, take it away.
Rusty, first of all, I am honored and excited to be on this platform tonight to really talk through and talk about what it takes to succeed at such a high level, not just in our business, but really in life. And so many of us, we hear some of these things often and they become trite. Sometimes they become familiar. I know in the very beginning, when you're exposed to some of these concepts and ideas and information, I know for me, initially there was a lot of resistance to it, Rusty. There was a lot of resistance to believing that you could, turn your annual salary into your monthly commission. There was a lot of doubt when it came to being able to be debt-free, stress-free, drama-free as well. And so these types of calls are always refreshing to be a part of because it just reminds me that there are people like me all around the country and really all around the world, Rusty, that not only have the desire, but are willing to show up every single week, every single month, and even every single day to feed that desire. And that's what I want to talk about today. I know we're rounding up towards the end of the month. And Rusty, number one, I want to say thank you for having me on. When you asked me to be on, I put it in my calendar and we had it locked in and some things took place. I was like, oh my goodness, I may have to reschedule. But thank God, we're not flying commercial airlines anymore. We're flying private. So we were able to get here earlier today and still be available to do this call. But in piggybacking on what you're talking about, obviously, we've been involved in, when I say we, I'm talking about my wife and I, we've been involved in the space or the profession of network marketing for 17 years. And I want to hinge my conversation and our talk tonight, because I know we've got the Phone a Friend going. Y'all celebrate me. I got my Phone a Friend done a week and a half. Come on, y'all celebrate your brother.
Right.
Y'all celebrate me. No. Y'all got to celebrate me for that. Now, this is leadership by example. Leadership is not. It is not the main thing in business. It's the only thing. You got to be able to lead by example. Matter of fact, that is what I want to hinge our discussion on tonight, because you don't lead one time. Rusty, I had to learn that in this profession. It's not about what you did. It's about what you did, what you're doing, and what you are going to do. And all of us can do it. So we've been in this profession, Rusty, for 17 years. I would have loved to have the story, Rusty, of being with one company for 17 years. And I know there are people that have been married twice or three times that would have loved to have the story to, when you walked down the aisle, you weren't going to come running back, right? I know there are people that would have loved to have that story, but maybe that's not your story. And here's what I understand about each and every one of us. Number one, we all came from somewhere. Whether it was another network or direct sales company, whether you came from a corporate background, maybe you came from being a stay-at-home mom, or maybe you came from working a corporate job, or whatever it is, and you came to It Works. We all came from somewhere. And so where you came from is not as important or as significant to where you're going. And one of the reasons why I always talk about that is because if you are honest like I am, when it comes to this type of business, we always look subconsciously for the reasons why somebody else should be winning and why we shouldn't. It's easy for you to see a Rusty. It's easy for you to see a Carissa. It's easy for you to see some of these people here and say, oh, sure, they can get the Phone a Friend done in September. Yeah, of course. They've been in the space for this amount of years. They speak well, or they've got massive following, whatever that excuse is. And I want you to write this down. An excuse is nothing but a well-planned lie. Yeah, I want you to write that down. An excuse is nothing but a well-planned lie. And so much so that we plan, if you're really candid, for those of you that have not gotten your phone a friend done this month, I guarantee you the reason why you haven't gotten it done so far is not because you can't. It's not because you don't know anybody. No, it's not because you have the kids. I love when people go, oh, I got the kids, like the kids is an STD. Oh, I got the kids. We all got the kids, okay? So it's not because you have the kids. It's not because you've got a job. It's not because you're serving in ministry or your husband or your wife. The reason why most people, and I'll just be Rusty, is it okay if I'm candid tonight?
Very.
Okay. The reason why many of us haven't accomplished it, let me tell you why. You have bought your own excuse. Yeah. You've bought your own excuse, and that excuse that you've made in your mind has prevented you from being consistent day in and day out since this was announced to get it accomplished. Let me share this with you. You only do things consistently that you feel like doing. Let me say it again. You will only do things consistently, Cliff, that you feel like doing. I don't go against people's behavior. I don't go against human behavior. The reason why you don't do things consistently, you don't think about it. If you don't work out consistently, why? Oh, I don't feel like it today. Oh, I don't feel like it. But our business, when it comes to feelings, cannot lead you every single day. When you're a leader, you're not going to feel like doing things every single day to grow your business. One of the greatest leader that ever walked the earth 2,000 years ago didn't feel like fulfilling the mission. How do I know? He cried out to his upline and said, God, is there another way? Can you remove this cup from me? I don't feel like going down this. So your feelings will cause you to forfeit your future in our business. Write that down. Your feelings will cause you to forfeit your future. Think about why you go to work every single day at your job. If you've got a job, put a 111 in the chat. Watch this. Put a 111 in the chat. If you have a job, put a 111 in the chat. Okay. All right. I see. Okay. Cool. Yeah. 111 in the chat. 111 in the chat. Yes. Great. Now, if you don't always feel like going to your job or doing your job, put a 333 in the chat. You don't always feel like it. Like, sometimes the kids may be sick. You may be sick. Maybe you're like me. You were just sick and tired of being sick and tired sometimes. Put a 333 in the chat if you don't always feel. Now, I'm not saying you don't like what you do. I'm not even saying you don't love what you do or you're not called to do what you do at your job. I'm not putting down your job. I just want you to understand why you consistently go to a job even when you don't feel like it. You know why? If you don't go, even when you don't feel like it, the mortgage won't get paid. The rent won't get paid. Come on. Gas won't get paid. Food, we won't have food in the refrigerators. We won't be able to take care of the kids. The daycare won't get paid. All of your responsibilities are tied to that job. And the reason why you're consistent when you're tired, the reason why you're consistent when there's a function, the reason why you're consistent when you don't feel like it is because your feelings don't come before the finances in your family's life. So here's what you have to learn to do. What I had to do is I had to put myself in a position to work my business like you work your job. Let me say it again. I had to put myself in the position whereas I work my business like you work your job. Now, here's the flip side of that, ladies and gentlemen. If you worked your It Works business like you work your job, your It Works business would pay you monthly what your job pays you yearly. Now, for many of you, probably about 95% of you, when I make that statement, here's what happens. The programming that you've been given your entire life. What do I mean by programming? What you've seen, what you've heard, and what you have accepted as truth for you will negate and fight the sentence I just made. Write this down. If you fight for your limitations, you end up keeping them. If you fight for your limitations, you end up keeping them. Okay? Mary, you know what we do? We say we want this. We say we want that. We say we want to go here. We say we want to do that. And our subconscious mind, our programmed mind says, you're not worthy. You don't deserve it. You can't do it. Who do you think you are? And now we have a delicate dance daily fighting what we say we want versus what we believe we deserve. And then we project those fears, that uncertainty, that doubt, that skepticism, that cynicism, we project that on the people we meet, and therefore we can attract people that will come into our business and transform it. Write this down, please. You can't start attracting until you first become attractive. Man, you ought to just put a 111 in the chat for that revelation. You cannot start attracting. One of the things I used to ask Alexandria, where are all the good people at? Now, my dad said, you don't put at the question. That's he's an attorney, so I sometimes say things incorrectly just to make him mad. I was like, where are all the good people at? Then my mom jumped in and said, son, that's not grammatically correct. She's an attorney as well. And so I said, where are all the good people at? I'm trying to find the good people. Where are the good people that's going to do what they say they're going to do? They're gonna work just like I work. Where are all the good people that's gonna, enroll customers, enroll distributors? Where are the good people at? Guess where they're at? They're at the point of attraction. You know what makes you attractive? Let me tell you the number one thing that makes you attractive is not what you wear. The number one thing, Janet, that makes you attractive is not how well your hair is styled. Mary, Brenda, the number one thing that makes you attractive, Jimmy, is not what you say. It's not what's coming out of your mouth. It's not how you can string along sophisticated sentences to make people think that you're some aristocrat. That's not what makes you attractive, Darius. The number one thing that makes you attractive, watch this, consistency. That's what makes you attractive. Consistency. Think about it. For those of us that have traveled out of the country, and you're a little leery maybe of the food choices, the restaurant or whatever it is, that you see around, one of the most beautiful sights you can see when you travel to a different country, watch this, is a restaurant that you are familiar with. How many of you know what I'm talking about? Put 333 in the chat. Like if you leave America, you go somewhere else, and maybe you've tried some food or whatever it is, and you like, oh, I don't like that. There's nothing that excites you and exhilarates you like seeing the Golden Arches. Come on, you don't even like McDonald's like that when you're in America. But when you're in China and you've been eating cat shoulder blades and you've been eating all type of stuff, and you see those Golden Arches, like, oh my God, there is a God somewhere. Come on, Golden Arches. You ain't been to McDonald's in 10 years in America, but you in China, you're in South Africa, you're in one of these countries, and you see those Golden Arches, you're like, yes, I can get me a Big Mac. Why? McDonald's has been what? Consistent. Now, I'm not saying it's the best food. I'm not saying it's going to protect you from COVID. I'm not saying none of that, but I'm saying when you see those Golden Arches, you know why you have such an attraction to it? They're consistent. Can I ask you a question? How consistent have you been in the month of February? Well, Jared, we're in the month of September. Yeah. I asked February because you made some New Year's resolutions in January. Here I come. I'm coming. Don't worry. I'm coming. You made some you made some New Year's resolutions. How many of us made you come on, put 111 in the chat? You made some New Year's. This is my year. Come on. I'm gonna make more money this year. I'm gonna tithe more. I'm gonna give more. I'm gonna contribute. I'm gonna quit cussing. Yeah, I'm gonna stop drinking. Yeah, I'm gonna stop smoking. Yeah, all of these, and then here it was, January 1st. I'm gonna work out. I'm gonna be more romantic. I'm gonna listen more. I ain't gonna be yelling and all of those resolutions. You made those, and then January 1st you were on track. January 2nd you were holding fast. January 3rd you started scrolling on Facebook. January 4th came around, some news media outlet played something, and it kind of threw you off track. By February 1st, you reset. You said, I'm gonna wait till 2022. 2021, I don't know about that. Here we are, September. 2021. We're closing out. We just came out with 4 and a friend. 4 customers, 1 distributor. Not 4 distributors and 1 customer. Now that's tough. Going to sponsor 4 new distributors and getting 1. Now that's a little tough. I get it. But 4 customers, 4 product testers, 4 product models, 4 people that want to try the product. You can't get 4 customers and you didn't had a whole baby. Come on. You had a baby. You birthed life. We're all here because somebody was a mama. Somebody went through the 3 separate trimesters. You moms on here. I'm telling you, if you can birth a whole baby, you can get 4 customers. On a scale of 1 to 10, if I was to compare, this is birthing a baby. This is getting 4 customers. I mean, it's not even close. But why haven't you done it yet? Now, this is not a gripe session. I want you to change the way you think. That's all this thing is. It's just it's the way you think. When you change the way you look at things, the things that you look at will change. That's why Albert Einstein said, the thinking that has brought you this far has created some problems that your current thinking cannot solve. Meaning, you at your best thinking has created some problems. And to eliminate the problems that are now present in your life, you can't even use your own thinking. You've got to borrow the thinking of somebody else. Yeah. Okay, can I give you a real example? Rusty, Mark and the team have done an incredible job with the company. 20 years? 20 years. Guys, take it out of the direct sales network marketing context. Do you know that 50% of businesses or companies that are started go out of business within the first 5 years? You understand that? So if 100 companies started, what are we in 2021? 5 years ago, that would have put us in what? 2017? 2016? So companies that started 2016, let's say it was only 100 companies that started in 2016. Only 50 of them are still around right now. Out of those 50, I was reading in the, I think it was a Forbes article, Tony Robbins was talking about this, and he said that over 94% of companies, 94% of companies are out of business within 10 years. Shucks. So 94 out of 100 are gone in 10 years. It works has stood the test of time and is a part of that small percentage that makes it. Now watch this. I told you, your best thinking has produced some current restrictions. Are you getting this? Me at my best thinking has created some current restrictions. So I can't use my thoughts to move forward. I've got to bring in somebody that I can borrow their thinking. So Mark Pentecost, the one that owns Pentecost Air, he's got his own plane. He's got his own helicopter. Mark Pentecost. He's got his own 5,000-acre ranch. Mark Pentecost. He's got his own private island. Mark Pentecost. All his kids work for his company. Mark Pentecost challenged me in a basketball game. He ain't number 5'6". I'm like, Mark, I will destroy you. Why would you? But that same Mark Pentecost realized, he said, you know what? We can't move past where we are with my current thinking. Let me bring in a consultant. Now watch this. When he brings in this consultant, Rusty, he didn't bring in the consultant for free. You do realize you got to pay a consultant. Why? Because if you don't pay the consultant, you stay stuck for a longer period of time. My question for you is, how long do you want to stay stuck? How long do you want to keep repeating last year's New Year's resolutions? Mark said, no, we've been kind of stuck at this $500 million mark, and it's time to move on. It's time to progress. Write this down. Man and woman are at their happiest state when they feel they're making progress. That's when you're at your happiest state in life, when you feel like you're making progression. So he hires in a consultant to come and give him some fresh eyeballs, give him some fresh thinking. Pays the consultant. Consultant says, hey, you need to change this, do this, do this. Based on the numbers, they evaluate, they deconstruct the business. They look at the stats, they look at the facts, the data, and say, hey, you want to get from 500 million a year to $1 billion a year, 2 billion, 3. Here are the things you've got to change. Here are the improvements you've got to make. Here are the investments you have to make. Char, you're right. And that is a CEO that cares. Let me ask you this. You're the CEO. Do you care? Forget what Mark is doing. Do you care? You are the CEO of your own corporation. It's called You Inc. You Incorporated. Do you care enough to bring in or to listen to a consultant that can help you take your business to a whole another level? See, when you come to sessions like this, these are what I call consulting sessions. I don't show up to consulting sessions just to, log on and chill out and relax. I don't have time for that. I show up my notepad pen. Why? The information, it's going to go in and it's going to form a certain action. Information. That's what information does. Information is the starting point to revelation. Let me say it again. Information is the starting point to revelation. When I gain revelation, it produces transformation. Shucks, let me slow it down. Information is the starting point. What do I mean by that? Rosie, when I get information, see, you are the totality of the information you have or have not received. You know why you haven't made $100 million in Bitcoin? You didn't get the information. That's why. Had you gotten the information in 2007, 2010, you would have had $100. You could have invested into Bitcoin, and that $100 would have earned you millions of dollars right now, but you don't have it because you didn't get the what? Information. Sometimes it's not how smart you are. Sometimes it's not how wise you are. It's not even how hard you work. Oftentimes is you have not consulted with the right people to get the right what? Information. All right, let's pause for a brief break. We're going to go to commercial break and hear from our sponsors. And now, but you follow what I'm saying tonight. If you follow me, put 333 in the chat. I just want to make sure we're still communicating, because the biggest illusion about communication is that it's actually taken place. All right, so you're with me, right? Information. So my information, the information I receive, it is the starting point for revelation. Revelation means information that is revealed. So for example, I've got this bottle, right? this is what information does. This is blocking you from seeing the bottle. You got it? My calendar blocks you from seeing the bottle. The bottle's still there, but you can't see it. Why? Because there's something blocking, listen, your vision. Are you with me? My question for you tonight is, what is blocking your vision? What excuses, what justifications is blocking your vision from you accomplishing for a friend? What is it? Some of you know what's blocking you. You're lazy. Jarrod, I get on the calls. You're lazy. Jarrod, I posted in my stories. You're lazy. Jarrod, I posted on my Facebook page. I did a TikTok. You're lazy. Lazy. Yeah. What's it? If you want to lose weight, what do you have to do? Give me the prescription for losing weight. If I want to lose 10 pounds, if I want to lose 20 pounds, what do I need to do? Put it in the chat. This is a conversation. Workout and diet, Stephanie says. Okay. If I want to lose 10, 20 pounds, somebody said change your lifestyle. Okay, Danita. You have to work out. Okay, Keisha. All right. Let's see. Let's see if we have workout, diet. Okay. What else? Come on, talk to me, class. Drink water. Somebody said just do it. Okay. And you have to be consistent. Okay. Yes. Workout plan, meals. Okay. Change your mind. Decide to do it first. All right. Okay. Somebody else? Anybody else? If I want to lose weight, 10 pounds or 100 pounds, what do I have to do? Intermittent fasting, consistent product. Okay, Rusty, what do I have to do? Rusty's lost a lot of weight. Rusty, what is the prescription? If I want to lose 10 pounds or 100 pounds, what do I have to do?
Personally, I'd get on ThermoFight X and the gummies, and I'd be consistent with it every single day. And therefore, you'll have a transformation in your body because it creates an unconscious lifestyle change. But I needed the help to do it. So that's how I've lost 507 pounds. But I use all the rest of our products. I had to get committed to it. And I had to have a mind shift that what I was after was more important than where I was. And when I got committed to it, here I am, Jarrod, 15 years later, this November the 15th, I've not had an aspirin for a headache. Not one, not been sick on no prescribed meds at all. Has it been easy? No, but the commitment, was it worth it? Absolutely, it was worth it. And I got paid several $1 million to do it.
Let me ask you this. What was, and if you can remember 15 years ago, I don't know what it was it for you that caused that transformation mentally for you to say, you know what, I'm going to do, what happened? Was it, did you have to go to the hospital? Did you see a picture of yourself? What was it?
When I was at the doctor's office with my wife and my father, he said, you got 6 months to live. And if you make it at all, we're gonna have to amputate both legs from the knees down. And my legs are still black from the knees down. But I come home and felt sorry for myself. I was. My father was a minister. Mm-hmm. He came over where the wound care center people had just left. He picked up my big calf of my leg and he's looking at my foot. I said, what are you doing? I'm dying. He said, I'm looking for an expiration date. I said, you mean like going to the grocery store and the dairy? He said, yeah. He said, you don't have one. He said, now quit feeling sorry for yourself. You got 2 little girls here. It's in fear. Now I need you to be the warrior that you are. And I got out of anger, knowing what I should do and my responsibility and the love for my children. They wasn't the excuse why I didn't. They were the reason why I did. And I promise you, I've only missed 3 days in 15 years of working out every single day. I don't care if I'm in Europe or wherever. I'm committed to what I do for my way of life because you know why? I love to feel good. I like to be healthy. I don't like taking meds and I don't like to feel bad. And therefore that created a passion, Jarrod, that I can't stop down. I can't stop it. Every day I wake up with purpose and passion because I had to get committed to where I was going, but I had a really strong why that become wow.
All that means, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm looking for this one deal for you guys, but all he was saying just now, let me tell you what he was saying. He got desperate. All the other stuff and my kids and my this, he had all that stuff before. Let me tell you what happened. He got desperate. That's the only way success and changing your life happens. You got to get desperate. Les Brown says the only reason why a person changes is either out of inspiration or desperation. Write it down. The only way you change is out of inspiration or desperation. That's the only way you will change. When the doctor says you got 6 months to live, based on your lifestyle, based on what you haven't been doing, based on the decisions you've been making, based on what you've been eating, your lack of exercise. Oh, now watch this. I guarantee you, Rusty knew what to do to lose weight prior to getting to that doctor. That information had been plastered all over workout plans, over the internet, in person. There were gyms back then. He couldn't be bothered with. But oh, one day, he went to the doctor. The doctor gives him some what? Information. Shucks, it's coming. I'm coming around the mountain. Here I come. I'm about to go home. Gives him some information. Rusty, you got 6 months. We're going to have to amputate your legs. Rusty said, my legs? I've had these legs for way too long for you to cut these things off. What you mean? You're going to amputate I'm going to be in a wheelchair? I'm telling you, this is what's going on in it. I'm telling you, I was standing right next to Rusty on the side of Desperation Avenue 15 years ago. I was right there with him. When the doctor told Rusty, yeah, 6, I was standing right there. Rusty didn't see me, but I was right there. Gets the information. I told you information is the starting point for what? Revelation. So all that stuff was already there. Something had been blocking it. Laziness, contentment, relaxation. I'll get to it one day. It's not as urgent. It's not as important. Hey, let me stop by McDonald's. Let me stop by this. Ooh, give me 2 plates. Give me that soda. Come on, guys. Oh, see, that's blocking the stuff. That is blocking what he said he wanted. Get some information. The information is the starting point of what? Revelation. What was always there now became revealed. And from the revelation began his transformation. And for the last 15 years, see, you make a decision and then you manage the decision. He made the decision 15 years ago, but what he's been doing is managing that decision for the last 15 years. Question as we get ready to close. What decision have you made and successfully committed to managing? Maybe not for the last 15 years. Not even the last 15 months. I'm not even asking you to manage it for the last 15 weeks. I'm asking, what have you managed for the last 15 days? That's it works. That's our business. It's making a decision. See, decisions determine destiny. Decisions. When I'm desperate for something, this is why I tell people all of the time, training doesn't work. Training doesn't work, but working does train. Rusty, I don't believe in doing a whole lot of how-to trainings. You guys have been on some of our calls and some of the things that we do Zoom-wise, and you won't hear me doing a whole lot of how to do this, how to do that. You know why? Because people know how. You will figure out the how. My job is to reveal the why. Your job as a leader is to reveal the reason why a person or people should do it. Tonight's session was all about that. You can get 4 and a friend done in September. Yeah, you can. But you got to get desperate. I didn't say you got to get destitute. No, I'm not saying be destitute. Desperate. You got to get to the point of desperation whereby phoning a friend is as important to you as not losing his legs were to Rusty 15 years ago. If you don't get phoning a friend done, you lose your legs. Your legs of business. If you don't get phoning friends done, you lose your legs. Your existing legs and your future legs. That's how I looked at this. When they announced it, once I found out, I was so fired up. But I knew I couldn't go to the leaders. I knew I couldn't go to my team with any degree of authenticity, Rusty, if I hadn't done it. I said, I got to get this done. We got to get this done. I got on Facebook. I started inboxing people, start sending my link to friends and people that would like or comment on stuff. And we started engaging. And if they gave me the runaround, they didn't want to do it, or I'll pass, I deleted their behinds. Unfriend. Jarrod, you did? Yes, I ain't got time. You don't want to buy nothing. You don't want to join nothing. You don't want to support nothing. Goodbye. See, you ain't desperate. See, I was desperate. You ain't, see, you trying to be cute. Oh, it ain't that important. All right. I ain't worked a job in a very long time. I ain't worked a job since 2009. I like freedom. Oh, watch this. When I married Portia, she ain't had to work no job either. Yeah, we both been free in our 30s. We've been free for a long, long time. I was desperate. Didn't start that way. No, didn't start that way. You know how it started? It started with us going to the doctor. It started me when I got some information. I'll never forget it. Oh, this is the point. Oh God, I hear you. I don't know who this is for. I don't even share this part of my story, but I'm gonna share this and I'm gone. I'll never forget. I've been involved in network marketing, Rusty. Been involved. Hadn't been committed, but been involved. Yeah, some of you are involved. See, those of you that got your cameras off, you're involved in this call. Those of us that got our cameras on, we're committed. If you had paid $1,000 for this hour, you would have your camera. You would be in full set. How you do anything is how you do everything. Write it down. How you do anything. Now, Jarrod, you are so hard on people. Yes, I'm hard. You know why I'm hard on you? I ain't trying to be your cheerleader. I'm one of your coaches. A cheerleader cheers when you're winning and when you're losing. Why? Their job is just to cheer. Oh, go ahead, you win. Yeah, so proud. Yeah, bum, bum. Yeah. That's a cheerleader. The challenge with most of us, we got too many cheerleaders in our life and not enough coaches. A coach cheers for you when you're winning and chastises you when you're losing. I would rather hurt your feelings than damage your future. See, a coach confronts what they want corrected. That's why you see, if you watch any football game or basketball game, when there's things, when the team is not running the plays correctly, when the team is not doing what they, time out. That is not what we trade. Time out. Get here. Get off. Get over here. Come on to this hub. I told you, and they give them coaching. Why? Because we're after a championship. Why? We're after freedom. Why? We're after transformation. Why? We're after taking our life to a whole nother level. This is not casual for me. Now, I know. I understand. You hadn't gotten to this point of desperation, so I'm making you aware of what's required for you to go to the next level of transforming your life. I had been involved in network marketing. 2009 comes around. I've got Chandler, my daughter. She's now 12. She's born February 23rd, 2009. Townhouse is up for foreclosure. We're 2 months behind on the mortgage. Truck is up for repossession. 2 months behind on the car note. Am I boring you? Pull up to the house. I'm working full-time job at the time in sales, got a part-time network marketing business. Remember, full-time and part-time is all in your mind. Full-time or part-time is all in your mind. How do I know when you're part-time in this business? When people ask you, hey, what do you do for a living? And you tell them about your full-time job. You're part-time in your business. Let me say that again. How do I know you're full-time or part-time? When people ask you what you do for a living just casually, or when you're out or whatever it is, and you tell them, oh, I'm a school teacher, or you tell them I'm a this, I'm a that. See, you're full-time on your job and part-time in your business mentally. You're involved in the business. You're not committed yet. 2009, I couldn't pay a $150 light bill. Pulled up to the house, Rusty, pressed the garage door opener. The garage door opener wouldn't work. Take out the batteries, rub them, blow on them, put them back in, press the button again, wouldn't work. What's going on? Get out the car, take the key, open up the door, turn on the light switch, no lights coming. Daughter's on the way home with her mom. I'm so embarrassed because I'm a grown man living in the greatest country in the world. I don't care who's president. I don't care what's going on. You got thousands and millions of people every single year trying to get into the country that you take for granted. They trying to smuggle their way in. They fighting horses and whips. They diving under the water. They taking 3-4 days sojourn trips with their little babies trying to get here. Here I am, 2009. They pay a $150 light. Had to send my daughter and her mom to a parent's house. I don't know if you understand how embarrassing that is. First of all, you done got my daughter pregnant. You ain't married her. You done had a child out of wedlock. Now you can't even, you can't even pay the bills. $150 light bill? Add insult to injury, I had to sleep on the couch of her mother's house. I was desperate. I made a phone call about a business, one that I had turned down just a year prior. The guy was a multimillionaire, and a friend of mine said, hey, I talked with him. He wants to meet with us again. Maybe we didn't understand the concept. At this point, I'm desperate. Stuff getting turned off, stuff getting shut off. My phone is T-Mobile. They gave me a little grace, but they were coming, turn that little phone off. So I'm like, okay, let's go to meet. Sat down and met with him, and on a napkin, he drew out on a napkin, on not a pic, on a napkin. He says, you do this, 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 and this. You'll be at 20 grand a month. This is 2009. He says, you do this, 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 and this. In six months or less, you will be at $20,000 a month. I didn't even have $200 in my account. At the point of transformation, it's not what's in your bank account that really matters. It's what's in your faith account. God is never checking for your bank account balance. He's checking for your faith account. That's why it says the faith of a mustard seed. I get the information that night. We're meeting with him at 1 o'clock in the morning. Tell me do this, this, and this. This is how many people you need to put in front of you. Get back to the place. So, okay, cool. I asked him, how much does it cost to start the business? There were 3 different starting options, Rusty. There was a $200 package, a $500 package, and a $1,400 package. I said, man, I ain't got no money, but I got a little less than, a few $100. I could probably start them together. He said, no, you ain't got no money. You got to start with the $1,400 pack. I said, no, I don't think you understand, sir. I don't have no money. See, I wasn't speaking proper grammar. When you broke, sometimes stuff don't come out the right way. I ain't got no money. I didn't say, sir, I don't have the financial budget at this time to be able to properly allocate the resources that are required for me to put in a seed investment to launch a. No, I ain't got it. I ain't got 1,400. I ain't got it. Says, man, the broker you are, the more products you need. Desperation. I said, okay. He said, if you want to work with me, if you want me to work with you and invest my time, consultant, my thinking, my time, my energy into your business, you got to get started with the $1,400. I said, okay, cool. Get to the house. Lights back on. We had borrowed the money, paid the Paid the little light bill, got a little extension too. I said, okay, cool. Called my dad. I said, Dad, I got a mortgage, a couple months behind. And ain't got it. Says, no problem, sir. Sends me some money. Sends me $2,000. Mortgage was $1,000. Startup cost for the business was $1,400. Get the money in. Okay. Mentor said you got to join with $1,400. That gave me $2,000. 2 months behind on my mortgage. I pay $1,000. Still got $1,000 left. Maybe I can join with that little $500 package and he'll see I try. Take the $2,000, take $1,400 out of it. Join the business. Make your money back. I said, God, you sure? Join the business. My first week, I made $3,000. My first week. My first month, I made over $8,000. My first month. By my 5th month, which was January 2010, I had my first $20,000 month in business. I was this. You typically meet God on the corner of desperation, going down the road of transformation. Tonight's session, it's not about phone a friend. It's not about closing out September strong. Tonight's session is not about how much weight you're going to lose. Tonight's session is how desperate. All transformation begins at the point of desperation. If you're not desperate, you'll stay stagnant and even stuck where you are. Find a reason to get desperate before life provides the reason. Rusty, thank you so much for having me on. I'll turn it over to you. Congratulations to each and every one of the leaders that made it tonight. And I'm looking forward to seeing you as a brand new ambassador, sharing your story.
Well, Mr. Wilkins, that was as powerful as I've ever heard, and I've been with Mr. Pentecost for 20 years, full time. And you're right about the desperation, even in my health crisis, the desperation. But I'll tell you about another time I was desperate. When I was in corporate and I was chasing money and I was making some really great, what I thought was great money. I was just an overpaid slave. And when I saw again my 2 little girls that daddy's missing all their time, I become extremely angry because my abilities were better. And I heard all this craziness about network marketing and all the bad stuff. Those were the people that had never been desperate. But I was desperate for more time with my 2 little girls. And Mr. Wilkins, when I walked in and fired the CEO of a major bank here in North Carolina, because I was the vice president, and I came home, I felt like this weight was off of my shoulder. But therefore I left. When you leave a salary like that, no, you're done. Ain't nothing coming with you. So I got desperate in the first 28 days to build a team of 635 people in 28 days, but that was 18, 20 hours a day around the clock because I was desperate. And if the people told me no, I didn't care. I moved on to the next one. I didn't care about no. All I knew was I had a goal to reach. And off of that, it laid the foundation and postured 20 years of a full-time family. Making millions of dollars with Mr. Pentecost. Not a million, millions. I ain't the only one. I have a very successful team. But see, it ain't me. When God chooses you and you walk into that faith and say, God, I don't know where we're going. All I know is you've got it in my heart. It's in my mind. I can't get rid of it. And I'm coming after it. When you make up your mind to come after it, and when you work that faith muscle, God would automatically, he directs your steps. And as he begins to direct your steps, he brought the right people. And right now, you couldn't be nowhere else but on this Zoom right now. I believe in predestination. Before the foundation of the world, you were predestined to be right here with Mr. Wilkins, myself, and you as a team. So here's how we win. Mr. Wilkins and I are cross line, but we're like brothers. There ain't nothing I wouldn't do for him. And I feel the same way from him to us. When we become unified, it creates solvency in our opportunity. And with 4-1, you have a chance that Mr. Wilkins and I have never had. You've got the most, this program pays out more weekly fast starts than any company in the entire world. We are the king. And so when you get handed something like this, you take advantage of it. But when you're desperate, and when you're desperate for change, there's will absolutely nothing stop you from going to the next level. Miss Carissa, you got anything you want to add to this?
No, I'm just excited. I'm looking back on everything I wrote down. I mean, I don't think there's nothing else to be said. Y'all know what y'all supposed to do. Y'all know what needs to be done. You've heard it all. I mean, he pretty much laid that out just as simple and easy as he could. It was broken down. There's nothing that you could not understand. There's nothing that need to be retold to you. Everything was broken down where you can understand it. So it's just, how bad do you want it? Do you really want it? And I'm just excited. I'm just blessed at the fact that I also get to enjoy my 30s being free. I get to enjoy my 30s being home. 30 is the age that I actually was able to retire and do this business full time. So, and that was 8 years ago. So the excitement of being able to just continue that journey, and my why being that I want to stay home is the reason I continue to push, is what's exciting. So let's do it, y'all. Ain't nothing stopping you. I mean, like he said, childbirth is worse than getting this foreign and friend. So I can attest to that.
Wow. All right, guys. I appreciate you being on here. We'll have the recordings up in the pages here in a couple hours. Make up your mind that whatever why you got, that you're going to become desperate, that you're desperate for change. Some of us are getting just too old to keep playing little games with life. The clock is ticking. We don't have any more time. So he made a major point here. If you're going to work with somebody, you're going to invest the time. So you got to get all in. Got to come out of the stands. You can no longer be a spectator, because this is going into the 4th biggest run I've ever had in my life. With the same company, the same deal. We've made a pivot, and we put you in a position to do exactly what Mr. Jarrod said he did in the first 5 months of his business. If you come after that magnitude, you throw all excuses in the trash. Don't allow Satan to come in and make you doubt what you're doing and where you're going. And don't allow your broke family and your broke friends to tell you this don't work. Because I have some broke family members that told me this wouldn't work, and I ain't woke up on an alarm clock in 20 years, and they're still punching a clock. I'm not saying that to brag. When you make up your mind and you become desperate, your life will go to the next level. Guys, I love you. You matter to me. Until tomorrow, make this the best evening you've ever had.